News 25 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, services are held in remembrance of 9/11, and an update is released by NHP regarding a recent crash. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Two services are held locally to honor and remember. It's Wednesday, September 11th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, the Pahrump Valley Rotary Club held their 5th annual 9/11 memorial service to honor and remember those we lost and continue to lose in our country following the attacks on New York City's Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and the crash of the hijacked Flight 93 in Stony Creek Township, Pennsylvania. Almost 3,000 people were killed on that day, and 1,400 first responders have died from illnesses related to the attacks since. Officials say that around 2,000 people have been diagnosed with illnesses in connection in the aftermath of the horrific terrorist attack on our country.
I am truly blessed. I am married to one of those first responders, a New York City retired police officer, who was there on that day. And I have to tell you how our lives changed. So for each and every one of you, please remember to think of that. Thank you, thank you, law enforcement. I can't believe that 18 years ago how my life changed. And Phyllis, yes, I didn't know my husband was coming home as he pulled out body after body. My son had just gotten out of the Navy. I didn't know if he was going back. So for this day, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And all I could say is God bless each and every one of you.
It's a somber event. It's remembering everything that's bad in the world and how it impacts good people and people who are there to do good and help others. And it's something that just everyone has their own personal experiences and personal beliefs regarding it. One of the things that concerns me is so we sometimes lose sight that this is history is still in the making. We still have a lot of people that are dying from cancer as a result of their exposure. Most of them being emergency responders, police and firefighters who are out there just simply trying to rescue and recover their brothers and sisters at 9/11. You know, it's simply just not a New York City event. It's obviously in Washington and in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Oh, it's not an easy day. There's people to thank for recent legislation that has gone through at the federal level to help those responders and their families. And, you know, quite frankly, Jon Stewart, an actor and comedian, I was so moved by his presentation and his fortitude on such issues, and we sincerely thank him.
What do you tell your fire crews on a day like today?
Situational awareness, making sure that we're keenly aware of everything that's going on around us, be prepared. You know, we try our best to equip them with the best equipment possible, the best training, and just to ensure that no matter what happens across the relay, that we're going to have each other's backs, and we're going to make sure that they come home safe to the very best of our ability. But there is always that understanding that none of us may, and we're willing to do that as part of the deal. It's one of the reasons I don't actually speak at this event is, number one, it's very personal to me, and number two is that I don't want to take away from my other assigned duties regarding 9/11 and getting those messages out to our crews. So I like to kind of wait till the end when I'm done my part over at the apparatus and on the radio, as you mentioned, and then I can just simply bring our responders up and, you know, and show these are the people that are out there doing it each and every day, whether they're sleeping, you know, our citizens are sound asleep or on holidays. There's always a layer of protection out there for them. It's the greatest thing, the greatest part for me is to bring them up and say, these are the names and the faces, and not simply just, you know, recognize them as the fire department or law enforcement or search and rescue. These are the people who wear those T-shirts and wear those uniforms, and they're the ones that are willing to drop everything at a moment's notice and go out there and help, and I just can't say enough about that.
We do this every year to commemorate the fallen. We thank very much Chief Lewis, not only for having come to New York 18 years ago, but for being here today. it makes it so very special to have that Fire Engine 1, Tower 1 fire engine, whatever it is, with the flag to be part of our ceremony. It's such a very emotional thing for me, but the speakers really were motivational. I was so thrilled with Sheriff Worley's being here in the Color Guard, and Mr. Arabia, just if he doesn't even know us, and coming out today to do this little speech. I'm very, very touched, and I want everybody to remember the people who went to work that day and did not come home.
We'll return in just a moment with more from the 9/11 memorial services.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Pahrump Cardiology, located at 1397 South Loop Road in Pahrump, Nevada. Call 775-210-8333 for an appointment. Dr. Tali Eric, proudly serving Pahrump since 2005.
Welcome back. Well, Nye County Sheriff Sharon Worley spoke to our camera following this morning's 9/11 ceremony. Worley says that she believes the country is still being attacked within our own borders via national media, by way of video games, and even clothing that our youth are wearing.
My thoughts, as a country, we were attacked. As a country, we're still being attacked. We're attacked by propaganda coming out of the media. We're attacked by the video game that our kids are watching, playing. We're attacked by the fashions that people make our kids think are super. We're attacked by the illegal drugs and the opioids coming into this country. Our very way of life is being attacked every day. The media has a way of spinning the truth. They all have their opinions, and each one spins it their own way. And so when you take the truth and you kind of mold it to your own ends, that's what you call propaganda.
Do you think that that's more of a political statement because that's something that's more on the conservative side, or at least our administration right now in the state, or do you think that's a fact?
No, I'm really not talking politics. I'm talking about other governments who have interests in the United States, and those governments trying to overthrow our government, and it's been going on for years. That's why we have world wars. That's why we have a different way of life here than they have in Europe or the Middle East or anywhere else. It's a whole different mindset. And the way that this world has worked since the very beginning is one group of people wants to overthrow another group of people. The insider threat is always the biggest threat you have. Just the word freedom, the freedom to be able to think and do and say mostly what you want to say, breeds the fact that other people can come in and say those various things. They're not sanctioned. And that leads to people being able to come in easily and try to change your mind about how you think life should be. And those are insiders.
We have the freedom to clothing, video games, free speech.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think that any of that should be taken away. You know, the thoughts of first responders really haven't changed. We run to the battle while other people run away. That's exactly what we did in 9/11. That's exactly what we did in any world war. That's exactly what we do every day of our lives. You call for help, we come. We always make sure that they remember what day it is. And as you notice, my badge has a black stripe across it. And that's for 911 and all the people who lost their lives and all the people who are still injured and are still fighting for their life. You know, 911 did a lot of things. And if you think about 911, it changed the way that we do business. Right after 911, the president put together the Patriot Act. And the Patriot Act did a lot of things. an easy thing to remember is when you're standing in the line at the airport and you have to go through all the security and be wanded and go through all of that. That's one of the things that were the fallout of 911. There's an awful lot more. But before 911, that would never have happened.
Well, the new iPhone 11 will be available later this month.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, iPhone 11 goes on sale later this month. Apple CEO Tim Cook revealed the latest additions to the i family. The new smartphone has a dual camera and a price tag of $699. There's also a new Apple Watch and an updated iPad. Michigan-based Meijer, along with Aldi, are the latest retailers requesting customers no longer carry guns into stores. Recently, Walmart, Walgreens, Kroger, and CVS made the same request not long after the mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. The oil market drifted lower on Tuesday. Analysts tell CNBC a slight premium came out of the price of oil after President Trump tweeted that he asked National Security Advisor John Bolton to resign. Bolton told NBC News he resigned on his own.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks, Angela. After this break, we'll go down to the VFW post and show you their service today.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Well, the VFW post on Homestead Road held their first ever 9/11 memorial service. Today, we caught up with Commander Marty Aguiar.
Somber event for me. This is the first time we've done a ceremony here for 9/11. I, as a post commander, take it it's gut-wrenching to me because after 9/11, you know, we as a nation were lost, and we all came together after the events, and I wanted to make today something special that we've never done before at the VFW. I was actually stationed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I was running a reserve center there as the command chief, and I was just finishing up with physical training with my chief selects, and one of my petty officers came out and says, "Hey, plane just flew into the tower." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, a whole aircraft plane just flew into one of the Twin Towers in New York." Yeah. And then we watched the TV. And then the second one hit, and then we watched more, and then we got the call because we were right outside the Air Force Base, we got the call to stand down. We secured the building, picked up our kids and went home, and we were all just shocked. It was amazing.
Something that you remember about when the first plane hit, a lot of people thought that there was something wrong with the aircraft. Correct. The second one hit, you realized.
Correct. Yeah, and then the Pentagon, you know, and then the one that went into the Pennsylvania field, and then the news reports, and then, you know, President Bush was reading books to kids at the elementary school, and then they closed down all air traffic across the United States, and, you know, everyone had to be rerouted. You know, it disrupted our country, but we did so much better because of it. I think we're more secure as a nation now. You know, as veteran service organizations, we really fight for our military and for our reserve personnel. Prior to 9/11, a lot of our reservists weren't receiving the benefits that they were entitled to. Everything changed after 9/11. You know, President Trump just signed the 9/11 bill the other day, and, you know, it guarantees the firefighters and responders that suffered illnesses from that day are going to be taken care of. With World War II and the attack on Pearl Harbor, that was a nation that was attacking us. It caught us by surprise. With 9/11, it was a terrorist organization that was supported by nations, and it was different. But, you know, we still came together as a country the day after. I remember flags everywhere. You know, people out in the streets and talking with each other and that was important, and we all healed as a nation. Today, my fears is that we're going down a different path from where we used to be 18 years ago. Political divisions, we can't seem to get anything accomplished in Congress.
Well, Nevada Highway Patrol spoke to News 25 today to talk about last week's collision involving our local football team. Nevada Highway Patrol Trooper Public Information Officer Jason Brazchek contacted News 25 today to give an update regarding last Thursday night's Pahrump Valley High School bus accident that occurred on northbound Highway 160 at mile marker 36. The crash was between the school bus and a construction vehicle owned by Aggregate Industries, who has been contracted by the Nevada Department of Transportation to conduct construction on Highway 160 through Mountain Springs. Brazchek says that the investigation is continuing. They have just obtained dash cam footage of the school bus, which has shown that speed is not a factor in this crash. Nevada Highway Patrol also adds that they will have the final result in a few days, and they are the lead investigators in this accident, which has resulted in numerous students from the high school reporting non-life-threatening injuries. 2 students were airlifted by Mercy Air from the scene of the accident on 32 students were airlifted via Mercy Air from the scene of the accident on Thursday night. One was transported by ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital, and another one transported from the high school by personal vehicle to a Las Vegas hospital. Several other individuals have been transported by personal vehicles in the following days. NHP also adds that the comment made by Nevada Department of Transportation Public Information Officer Tony Ilya to local media stating that the NDOT contractor Aggregate Industries was not found to be at fault is invalid. Nevada Highway Patrol is still continuing their investigation, and no fault has been determined at this time. According to investigators, the accident occurred when a heavy construction vehicle that was removing barriers from the roadway in the construction zone came into contact with the school bus. The students were returning to Pahrump about 11 p.m. when the accident occurred, as they were returning from a football game in Las Vegas. On board was 3 staff members and over 30 students from the Pahrump Valley High School Junior Varsity Trojans football team. Well, the Horizon Market Car Show donated almost $2,000 to the less fortunate students in our community. The 18th annual Car and Truck Show at Horizon Market No. 6 was held this weekend, brought to you by Tumbleweed Tavern and Horizon Market, located on the corner of Highway 160 and Mesquite. The day's events included oldies music with a live disc jockey, crafts and vendors, raffles, of course the Car and Truck Show, vehicle judging, and the awards presentation. The proceeds for this event go to Students in Transition, which is part of the Nye County School District's McKinney-Vento program. Headed up by Linda Fitzgibbons, this program helps students in our school district who are less fortunate. If you would like to donate to the McKinney-Vento program or Students in Transition, you can contact Linda Fitzgibbons at 775-727-7743. The Horizon Market Car and Truck Show brought in over $1,800 to help youth in our area.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, let's look outside on that weather cam. I hear that the temperatures are beginning to cool down. What a great shot. Beautiful skies. We're going to find out more with our weather forecast right after this break.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donohue. Today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 92 degrees, a low of 68. Death Valley down in those low hundreds with their high of 101 and a low of 73. Amargosa at 90 with a low of 61. Beatty 86 with a low of 56. Goldfield a high of 73 and a low of 44. Tonopah 71 with a low of 45. Carson City at 77.42, Fallon 75.44, and finally Fernley with a high of 76 and a low of 47 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was just at 89 degrees. Winds coming out the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour, 12% for our humidity, and our sunrise at 6:23 this morning. And for tonight, we're expecting clear skies. It's currently 87 degrees outside. Our low tonight's going to be down at 63 degrees. Winds coming out the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour, 17% humidity, and our sunset at 6:57 tonight. Now looking ahead to our 7-day, still expecting those sunny skies through Saturday. We do have some clouds coming in Sunday and Monday, but those are expected to dissipate by Tuesday, and we'll have those sunny skies once again. Temperature-wise, we are starting that little streak of 90-degree temperatures. We're just going to be in that 90-degree bracket from Thursday through Sunday, just between 93 and 99 degrees. On Monday, we're going to cool off down to 89, and then our highs at 82 and 85 next Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, in terms of our overnight temperatures, we're just going to be seeing just sprinkled around in about those mid to low 60s, with the exception of Sunday and Tuesday, where we're going to have lows of 70 on Sunday and on Tuesday a low of 58. But other than that, we're going to start cooling down into those 60s. So that's looking pretty good. So with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks, Michael. Well, that wraps up our news. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.